Yo, what's up? This is Patrick from TSH FX Institute, and this is just a 1 minute mindset reset. So, looking at the charts, looking at our watch list, we have Bitcoin with a plus 0.19 rise. And then we are followed by NASDAQ with a minus 3.57%, followed by the US 500, which is a minus 2.70, and then US 30, which is a minus 2.09. So these three, NASDAQ, US 500, and US 30, I found them quite similar because they are moving in the same direction. But as we scroll down, we are looking into gold. Gold at a 1.04% drop, and then US oil had a 4.72 rise, which means that this was a very strong bullish movement to the upside. And then we have Euro USD with a minus 0.25, GBP USD drop, and then GBPJPY also had a drop. USDJPY had a little bit of a rise, and then USDZAR also. But the thing is, I'm not really watching USDZAR. I'm actually just putting it on my watch list so I can do some flashcards because that's a pair I also wanna execute on in the future. And then we have USD CAD with a 0.11 rise. So this is our watch list, and we want to see how the markets are moving. And we had fundamentals today, which was high impact news, which was the NFP. And then let's see how this has been moving. So looking at NASDAQ, we can see right there we have our favorite pattern. We can just see it right there. We see it's the market came from accumulating, and then after accumulating, we can see that the market gave us a nice M with a rejection at the top, and then the market drop. You can see it's first push, second push, and the third push, and the last push also always have multiple mini pushes inside. So we're going to go into the chart and see how this is moving. So let me just get into my full screen mode. So looking at NASDAQ, we can see NASDAQ has been in a ranging market. We can see that this pair is trading up and down. We can see right here when we go back into our history, we can see that this was a trending market. So it means that this was a downtrend. We can see here the market is just giving us lower lows, lower highs, all those kind of stuff. But here we have a short-term up movement and then followed by a down movement. So we're going to go into the 15-minute chart and see whether we get a nice pattern. So let's just go back to my 15-minute chart. We're going to go back into full screen mode again. So we can see right here, this is our favorite pattern. If you just go in my previous videos, you will see that this is a very nice setup, which I always advise you guys to take. This is one of the safest entries you can take and actually have quite a nice return based on rewards. So looking at this chart, you can see that look what the news look what the news did to this. It made this thing drop heavily. So looking back, also had a nice pattern here, which was accumulation zone. After the accumulation zone, we had three pushes. We had three pushes to the downside, followed by upside movement. So we are going to take that trade just right there where I put that nice risk to reward. So you can see we are risking small, but our gains are very high. So even if you just go back into the charts, you can see we will find those patterns. Let me just go back into the charts. Okay, here's one again. You can see here's another pattern here which we also executed on. You can see it's accumulation followed by the high of the day, and then the market pushed away from the high of the day, and then New York session the market came and then you can see what the market did. All these traders at the first leg, they were stopped out, and then immediately the market turned, and then the market started dropping, and that was our sell signal. So these are one of the most powerful patterns I always focus on because they give me a high win rate, and I just like it. It suits my trading style, and whenever I don't find a pattern, I just leave the market, and whenever I find a pattern, I execute on this pattern with proper risk management. So let's go to our watch list again and see whether we find something. So US 500 is the same as NASDAQ, US 30 also. Gold, let's take a look into gold and see what gold is doing. You can see here we had a nice drop on gold. So let's go into the chart and see what's going to happen here. Going into the full screen mode, you can see right here gold gave us also a nice pattern. Right here we can see this was a nice beautiful pattern, which was accumulation zone, and then followed by a nice head and shoulder pattern. If you just look at this, you can see this is a nice head and shoulder pattern. You can see there's our left shoulder, there's our head, and then our right shoulder, our left shoulder, head, and then the left shoulder, left, right, doesn't matter. So you can see right here the market dropped, and then the market dropped. So for us to take this move, we are going to take this move with the proper risk management due to the volatility of NASDAQ, and we are going to use proper risk management. So if you just go into the history also, you might find similar pattern. It can be buy patterns or it can be sell patterns, but it's just the same. You can see right here is a nice beautiful pattern here, accumulation zone followed by 3 pushes outside of the Asian range, and it gave me a nice W pattern. You can see right here, you can see reversal candlesticks gave me a nice W. At the second leg of this W, this is where I was going to take my entry, and then I would have been in this trade for the first day, the second day, third day, and look there, it's actually like 5 days of drop until this point where we get a nice beautiful M followed by a reversal. So these are nice beautiful patterns you can always execute on. Let's go again and just scroll and see what's going on in the charts. Let's skip Euro USD. Let's see what's happening on the GBP USD. So for the GBP USD, let's wait for the chart to load and go into our full screen mode. So for GBP USD is also just a nice beautiful pattern. You can see here we had a nice accumulation zone followed by a stop and high with a nice pattern. It also looks like a head and shoulder on the 15-minute, and you could have taken your entry just right there at your last shoulder, and you could have uh, get even like 25 pips, 50 pips. It doesn't matter as long as you make sure you secure the bag. So let's go back into the chart and see whether we also get a nice pattern right here. Let's just go back and scroll and see whether we get a nice pattern. I'm sure we are going to get a nice pattern. So scrolling, you can see right here we have a nice beautiful pattern. You can see these patterns are just the same as the others, and these are very powerful patterns. You can see the market came out of the Asian range, and then the market came to hit those stops at the low, and the market went back up. Then the market gave us a nice beautiful head and shoulder, and look at the last shoulder. You could have taken that drop and then held this trade for the first day, for the second day, for the third day. Yes, third day, let me say 3 days of drop, with the third push was on the Asian range, which was a nice beautiful drop right here. So let's go again back to the watch list and see if we can find one or two last setups. So looking at let me go to USDJPY and see USDJPY had a nice rise, we can see right there. So let me go into the chart again and see what is going to happen here. So scrolling back into the chart, you can see right here, let me just go to today's trade. You can see right here we're having a nice beautiful pattern, which was an accumulation range followed by a stop hunt. You can see it's a nice beautiful stop hunt with a nice pin there to the low, and then the market traded away for that for let me say a few minutes or maybe hours, and then look what happened when on the Asian session. You can see the market spiked and took out all these traders which were here, and then look what happened. The market shoot up and you could have grabbed for you nice profits also. Let's go again back into the history and see if we can find one last setup for you for USDJPY. I'm sure we are going to get nice beautiful setup. They do not appear every day, but whenever they appear, just make sure you use proper risk management, because these setups are very profitable. Let's go back into the charts again. Let's go back, scrolling. You can see here's another pattern. You can see this is obviously fundamentals. You can see, look what happened. This is a nice beautiful pattern. You can see we had an accumulation zone, and then after the accumulation zone we had three pushes to the downside. Look at those pins. The first pin was here, and then the second pin, and then the last pin. After the last one, look what happened. The market shoot up and took out all of these traders just with one candle in 15 minutes. But just check how long it took for the market to work this range. So these are very powerful setup. Let's go into the last chart, which is USD CAD, and then we can close this off. So going into USD CAD, I mean. So let me just do this. Let me get into my full screen mode. So going into my full screen mode, we can see that today we did not really have a lot of momentum. So but looking back into the chart, you can see we might also find these setups also. Let's just go back and see whether we find that setup. Here's one of the setup. Here's one of the sell setup. You can see the market went out of the Asian range, and the market gave us a nice beautiful M, and then boom, the market dropped. So see, here must be also some kind of a pattern also here. Let's see what happened. This is an entry which I've taken. You see this is the entry which I've taken. Look, accumulation zone, then the market came as a stop hunt to give us a nice beautiful W, and then you could have hold this trade for the first day, the second day, and then let me say 3 days. So the market, for you to hold very long, you need to hold at least for 3 to 5 days, when that means you might be swinging or day trading. So there are a lot of patterns, so we're gonna go through them, and we're gonna drop another video whereby we do technical analysis and see what's going to happen next week, so that we will be mentally prepared, and when the market give us when the market is back on, and the market is presenting some kind of setup, we will be able to risk a small amount of our capital, and then we can see whether we can get more from that trade. So This is I'm actually just doing this video from my phone so that I can also show you that you don't always just need a computer to trade. You can do everything from your mobile device. We'll also drop another video how we can analyze the market and use drawings and tools on our trading view on the phone so that we can learn together and grow together as a team. So that's from me, Patrick. Stay safe.